Okay, so this is awesome, and I'm excited to share what's on my heart with you right now, which is about the journey of self-improvement and the traps that I found in that journey and where I've landed now in a place that's exponentially better than what I imagined it was going to be years ago. And better is, one word, a different, um, more beautiful, more expansive, greater, some words to describe it, but it is what it is. But I want to share with you some of the things I've learned because I started, self improvement 5 years ago now when um, the disease spread across the planet. And that was a time when I went inward. I was in college and I was graduating, and I was still really anxious to myself, really just not fully confident in me as a man. Still felt like a boy trying to figure it out. That like I knew I was capable of a lot, but I was still just really scared of the world in a sense. Um, and I started self improvement at that time, and uh, I did all of the things. I read all of the books. I listened to all of the podcasts. I joined online master classes, and I joined communities, and I invested in coaches, and I did all of the things that they tell you to do. I was working out and I had discipline, and I did 75 hard. I did this 100-day challenge. I was eating healthy. I mean, all of the things. And of course, I'm here now, because of so much of that. And I found that throughout the whole journey, I was trying to find like this part of myself, this power, this confidence that I just knew was in me because I had experienced it in little bits throughout my life. Um, but like I wasn't fully in that, I wasn't fully able to step into that, and really that's what I really wanted. And so self improvement helped in a lot of ways, learning, reading these books, and making connections between different books. It's exciting, it's empowering, and I would learn new things, and then I would go and apply them. And I remember reading Think and Grow Rich, and then it was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna get rich, and I'm gonna have so much money so fast because I'm just gonna think, and then I'm gonna grow rich, and I'm gonna master these concepts. And I remember, having that burning desire and that definite purpose, and um, I remember reading Ed Milet's Power of One More and thinking, okay, well, so I'm going to divide my days up into 3 days. It was 6 a.m. to 12, and then 12 to 6, and then 6 to midnight, and I get 3 days out of one, and I, maximize my productivity. Um, and reading just all of these books and listening to all of these podcasts and learning all these different new things and listening to these experts, and it was great. Um, and but I always felt like I was left not fully satisfied, because what I was seeking was not the knowledge, right? Because I would listen to these podcasts or I'd watch these podcasts on YouTube, and I really wasn't seeking the knowledge. I thought I was, but I was looking at the people that were talking. I wanted to be like them. I wanted to be that person that was on the other side of the mic, on the other side of the camera, not me, watching them just consuming that. But I was consuming that knowledge because I thought it was that knowledge that was going to help me be the version of myself that was like these people that I was watching and listening to. So I consumed more of that knowledge, and I would go through. Um, but the thing is that knowledge from other people is oftentimes it's the information that they've learned along the way. But they're on that table not because of their knowledge, but because of the wisdom, because of the embodiment of that knowledge over time. And so it's not about me going to all these different sources and consuming the knowledge from other people. I want to be like, the people that I would watch, like Tom Bilyeu. When I watched Tom Bilyeu, I valued his discipline. I valued his his intellect and his ability to solve problems. I valued his excitement around health. I valued his, his ability to see patterns early in businesses, right? And execute on something that the market wants and be, succeed at that and do well in terms of producing that and, building an audience and having people that know, like, and trust you. Um, and so I see these people, but I would be absorbing the knowledge, right? And what I realize now, not even now, but along the way at certain points, was that it was like I was stuck I wanted to be that, but it was like none of this extra knowledge was getting me on that other side. It was like I was constantly not actually getting what I really wanted, which was I wanted to, have the freedom, I wanted the money, I wanted the relationships, I wanted the attention, I wanted the fame, Um, and so it wasn't happening. It was like I was still just kind of in my circle, still growing, feeling good in all of it, but low key, like under it all, I was trapped. Under it all, I was still searching outside of myself for something that to be okay, to feel good. And I still find, that there's an aspect of that still arises because that's a part of us that's really important. It's a part of our being, that we grow quite close with over the years, but we don't really become aware of it. We don't realize it's just a part of our being, this part of us that feels like it constantly has to improve and constantly has to get validation, constantly has to do the next thing, get enough done, say the right thing, look the right way. You know, that's another part of us. That's a really important part of us. But there's also a part of us that is greater than all of that. There's a part of us that is um, it is all of the power that we've searched for. It is all of the power that we've desired. It is all of the freedom, all of the abundance, all of the health and the wellness that we've desired. It is that. That other part of us is the essence of freedom, of love, of abundance, of unity, of harmony. It is the essence of nature. It is the essence of love. This is what God is. This is, Christ. It's love. It's one consciousness that all manifests from. That is God. That is love. That is great spirit. That is the one, the source. And that is an aspect of us. And actually, really, we are an aspect of that. We are an aspect of source. Like, imagine Shakespeare writes Hamlet. So we have an author that writes then a story and creates characters. The author, Shakespeare, creates them in his mind. And then we have these characters that are not Shakespeare, but they are of Shakespeare. They do not exist outside of Shakespeare. They exist in the creative mind of Shakespeare, right? So they are not Shakespeare, but they are of Shakespeare. And they are also not Shakespeare. And so they're in this kind of relationship. And this is source. This is oneness. This is love. This is God. This is whatever we want to call it. It's not a person. It's not an alien. It's beingness. It's consciousness itself. It's life itself. It's the essence of the universe. It is the bed in which all of this lays. And so we are like that with God, with love. We are like the character, like Hamlet. God creates us in his mental image, in her mental image, in its mental image. Right? You see, it's not a person. Again, it's not some living creature. It's the essence of it. So we are all that. And when we remember this part of us, when we remember that all that we sought is what we are, that there is one power in the universe, it is love, it is God, well then there's nothing else to search for. Oh no, then what do I do about all the things that I was striving for, all of the things I loved, all of my passions, all of my, my work, my projects, the things I'm working towards, the support that I want to bring people, my job, my business. It's a great question. What of it? beautiful, and that is how love stewards that's how love stewards itself through those projects, through your connections, through the things that you're building, through the things that I'm creating here. Like, I'm talking about doing nothing, and at the same time I'm recording a video. I've got the mic on, I've got a nice little setup here, I've got my phone set up on a tripod, I'm sharing a message with you that I'm excited to share on YouTube. It's like I'm doing work right now. I'm not just being, it's like this is something I'm striving to share. But this is love, I didn't plan to do this today. This is just happening now of its own accord. And all of the things that we strive for, great, strive for them. But remember who you are. Remember who I am, right? And in that remembering, suddenly there's an ease, there's not a tension, not a stress to need to do more because we've done it. We're okay. We don't need to do more in order to be okay. I'm okay now, you say. And in that I am okay now, suddenly things happen like a flower just flourishes and a flower blooms, just opens like that. That's what love does through us, but it's not forcing us. A flower doesn't force itself to open. It just opens. And so self-improvement is like the flower that, tries to force itself open. And it's like, it's early. It's trying to get out. And it's like, that's not how nature flows. Self-remembering, self-realization is about remembering yourself as your I am. Remembering yourself in the moment, breathing and relaxing into what that solitude, that freedom, that safety, and that beingness brings you. And that's a journey of itself. That's not just going to happen like that. That's a journey. Self-remembering is, it's like imagine waking up from the deepest slumber you could have ever been in. It's like, oh, I'm so tired. I want to get up. We're sneaking out of the covers. Like, oh my gosh, so bright. That's like self-remembering. Remembering the I am, remembering that greater part of ourselves amidst all of the other parts of ourselves, that are that lower self that's playing out in this life, in this world, in this 3D reality. It's a big dream to wake up from. And if you made it to this point in the video, I'm really excited for you, and I'm really appreciative of you. And I ask you, if you enjoyed this, to like this video, because apparently that helps the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe so that you can stick around and get more content like this. And cheers to the first video on the new patio. Feeling really excited about everything that's coming, and we'll see you in the next one.